Reds, it's Talking Reds. Me, Gareth Roberts. I've got Damian Kavanagh with me today. Nice to see your face again, mate. And you were sorely missed on the post-match pint at the weekend, but I'm sure we'll get you back.
That's very nice to say. Yeah, I had a good afternoon with my friends. You know, we had a nice mellow time and enjoying the celebrations, and just the afterglow of being champions of everywhere.
And that's it. We are champions. We are champions of everywhere. And every day that we wake up, we are champions of everywhere until someone tells us different and someone wins one of those titles. Right now, they are all ours. Unfortunately, though, we've got to kick off today by talking about something that we can't get behind, and that is the incident with the Dixie Dean statue outside Goodison Park. It's been widely reported now, locally and nationally. But you know, if you somehow haven't seen the video, basically someone somewhere has put a red flare in the hand of the Dixie Dean statue and then filmed it. So you know, you can see what the intentions are. You can see what they're trying to do. And for someone somewhere, do you think that's some kind of achievement? It's not for me. It's not in my name. I don't know a single Red that thinks this is funny, that thinks this is good. And also as well, it goes beyond this, doesn't it, Damien? And that not only are we talking about a great player who was from Merseyside and who, you know, most Reds would say, you know, whatever the era, whatever the time, to score 60 goals in a season when you're 21 years old, absolutely brilliant. But also, what I'm saying, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that because it's a symbol for Everton Football Club, and it's a place that they gravitate towards, and it's a place where, you know, when Blues pass away and things like that, people take the flowers to Dixie, they put them around his feet and that kind of stuff. And you can actually see on the video that there are floral tributes for people who've passed away recently below him as this flare's burning. So, you know, from what we've read, there was minimal damage to the statue, and thankfully no damage to the wreaths and flowers that were laid around it either. But it's not the point. You know, it's the attempt to vandalise a significant thing in the city, something that belongs to Everton Football Club, but something that, as I'm saying, belongs to the city as well. I mean, you know me, mate. I'm bang up for having a go at the Blues, for having a pop at the Blues. But there's a line, and this goes over the line. You know, and Reds and Blues at time have gone over the line. What we saw at the Pierhead, you know, got over the line in the end and was too far, and no one could get behind that either. And it's just a bit grim, isn't it, mate? I mean, it takes a tiny bit of the shine off everything that's going on at the moment. Because, you know, I don't want to be talking about this. I don't want to be talking about, you know, people going doing things like this, because I know it doesn't represent me, you, or any of my mates. But I know that it will spark conversations where people look in at us yet again, Liverpool fans, Liverpool Football Club, and say, you know, and start casting aspersions, basically.
Yeah, that's also, I mean, it's so disappointing, isn't it? I mean, I'm all into the quick-witted nature of the banter that we have between teams, and that's, you know, that should be celebrated. You'd be quite right about a line. The line's been gone right over there. This isn't Scouse. This isn't funny. No. This isn't in anyone's name. And I'd like to see whoever it was be brave enough to come out and say, oh, we were wrong or this or that. That's not going to happen, is it? So no one's going to admit to it. But you're saying there, it's a shame that we're talking about it, but it's right that we're talking about it. I'm glad we're on here saying it, you know, because all clubs have behaviour of fans where you think, no, that's disappointing, and then, you know, not everyone comes out and calls it. I mean, on the Anfield Rap, we've been great about anything the club does that's wrong. You know, here we are, you know, we'll have a go at them over the furloughing thing or whatever have you. And that's part of the nature of a good supporter, the conscientious supporters come out and challenge things. This certainly doesn't mean to be just challenged. This is should be just condemned. It was provocative. I think that's the best way to describe it, isn't it? You know, because, you know, it's all right having a laugh and it's all right, you know, but this is a genuine Scouse legend, Dixie Dean, and this is a beautiful statue. My friend Peter Carney does an excellent tour, Soccer in the City, and the tour goes past and makes reference to that.
Yeah,
that statue. Billy Shankly, going back, you know, compared Dixie Dean. He's, you know, he's like one of the greatest centre forward that ever will be, and compared him to the likes of Shakespeare and Rembrandt, and that's part of the point. But the other part of the point is not how good a player he was, what a gentleman that he's known. And the fact that the Dixie Dean and Shankly hotels are opposite each other in the city, there's no coincidence there. But it's a focal point for Evertonians. I've got friends who've had flowers at that very statue and plaque at that very statue. Now, whether them friends are red, and my mates are red or blue, doesn't matter, does it? But it's a focal point, and it's cultural. And I would like to think we've got a shared history. The two clubs come from the same place. It's all that. And yeah, it's going over the line. And it just, it's not going to stop if people think it's funny. It's not going to. It just keeps going and rolling. We've had isolated incidents in the past. You alluded to them before. I mean, someone putting a number 6 on Prince Rupert's Tower, the Everton symbol. I mean, that's no good. Someone then a red paints over it and fixes it, and someone else doesn't, and then the Hillsborough Memorial gets desecrated. It's just like, come on, lads, grow up, will you? This is a load of rubbish. And at a time when we're celebrating the most wonderful achievements in the history of our great club, it's turning into, it's just going down. It's going down a rabbit hole we don't need to go down with regard to the supporters. And what will happen will be people will attach and latch onto that and say, oh, all the supporters are like that. And then people will argue, well, we only did this because you only did that. It's going nowhere.
Yeah.
It's going absolutely nowhere. We've got loads to celebrate. This is just plain wrong. This fella was a gentleman. He means so much to Everton, quite rightly so. I like the statue myself personally. And there's just no need for it. It's just a load of rubbish. Can you please stop? Whoever it is who's being the ultimate divvies around here, can you please stop? I'd love to meet them and talk to them. I don't mean threaten them. I don't mean anything like that. Just explain those words of 1 hour. What are you trying to achieve with this? I can understand you having a laugh. I can understand you're saying, well, we've got the rivalry and they're always there. They're going to be laughing if Man City beats us, or laughing if Real Madrid beats us. That sounds, or we're going to win a derby, they win a derby. That's great. That's all sound. This is over the line and just leads to further, like I say, leads to further whataboutery. It's got to stop. I hope it's the last thing we hear about this. And I hope whoever it is who's put it on the Twitter and thought it's made them look sound, funny and this and that, they've seen the reaction of everybody who are United. It's wrong. Stop now, please. Can we all grow up and get on with our lives?
Yeah, I mean, it is massively a case of whoever's done it, you just got the room wrong, you got the mood wrong, you didn't call it right whatsoever. Look, there are things that have gone on since we've won the league that, and I wouldn't do, my mates wouldn't do, and it's done in the name of something funny and all the rest of it. So, you've had people outside the brick with a Liverpool flag, you've had people going all the way over to Old Trafford to pose with flags and stuff like that. That's just a bit daft.
Yeah.
That's the right side of the line, if you like. They're doing it for a laugh. They're doing it, with their mates, and I get it. It's still probably not for me, if I'm being honest. But people still pull
me neither. But it's just the right side of the line. We've certainly had it. We've certainly had our custard pies off our rivals. We've got to take that. And if you can't, you shouldn't be following this game. Yeah. If your rivals' successes, destroy you so much, go and find something else, because you don't win all the time. And a lot of dogs have their day. So
and I just see a lot of people, mate, as well, just trying to, I've got to be honest, like on both sides, I see this all the time, sort of, trying to stir the pot. And we've been accused of that ourselves. I've been accused of that myself. There's a video that's got around plenty of times, certainly among the Everton community, it seems, where they called them all pricks after Divock Origi.
I was sat next to you.
You were sat next to me.
I was, yeah, rolling my eyes, yeah.
But it was like it was in the moment. I was passionate, and look, I've taken plenty of stick off them over the years, and I kind of think it's all fair game. Again, if you don't cross the line, and there is a line, then we're all right. But I don't want to do the whataboutery. But I've got to say, some of the stuff I've seen on social media around the period, around this, again, is grim. I mean, like, we've had a publisher in the city who's a blue nose making reference to I hope Bulgarian waiters are safe. And that's making reference to Michael Shields, who was wrongly imprisoned. I mean, again, you're over the line there, mate. You've gone too far. Equally, references of Heysel, of Hillsborough, too far. And I've written about that and said about that loads. And then people will say, and then it comes back the other way, doesn't it? You get, well, what about your fans? Once upon a time, you did X and Y. Once upon a time, there's a Stour Bucharest banner in the cop. Once upon a time, you sang Munich to Manchester United. I know. And I don't agree with any of that either. And I've written about all that before. And, I'm not saying I'm some holier-than-thou person, and I don't think you are either. But I think, we've got to appeal here to common sense and just say, look, it's fine to give each other stick. And sometimes we'll lose our rag with each other. But going, desecrating monuments around the city and giving everyone a chance once again to talk about this city in a negative way, well, that doesn't help anyone, does it?
No, it doesn't. And everyone's just got to stop and pause. Now, no one's to blame other than the idiots. What did it? Right? But it comes from an environment of complete adversarial behaviour all the time. And and people have just got to stop and think, am I helping this? I'm not causing this. It's not my fault I'm not contributing to this, but am I helping? I still to this day, and I'm in a very small minority, the Goodison Derby, I made sure my lad's first away game was Goodison. And on the Goodison Derby, I make sure I go with my blue mates on County Road before and after the game. And if we've won, I don't gloat. And if we lose, I don't sulk. And there's a little bit of that, and that's been lost over a long period of time. And, I'm not making this up. This was genuinely a big thing. Now you've got Blues and Reds who'll say, there's no way I'm drinking with them. They'll go to work with them all week. They'll be each other's best man. They'll do all kinds.
I was a Blue Nose's best man.
Well, there you go. I don't know how that happened. But so it just got to be, if people can just press pause now and say, okay. And if you want to talk about things that can be over the line, I can certainly quote a lot, but I don't, because I don't want to contribute to the poisonous environment. There's so much that unites us, and it must be tough being a Blue right now. I mean, of course, they've got their own agenda, and hopefully they get the stadium sorted out. That would be great. That would be great for the city. They've got a world-class manager. Good luck to them. I hope they finish second in the league on one condition. If they win a cup, I'm happy with that, as long as ours is bigger. That's all fair, and that's all good. And not everyone's going to agree with me. I understand that's quite romantic, but it's old school, and it's the environment that I was brought up in. But, just everyone, can you just please press pause now and say, okay, look, the league's been won. Some years have been too made up, and some years are too gutted. There's no excuse for that behaviour. The only people responsible for messing about with that Legends statue, that deserved, iconic place, the Evertonians treasure, that hasn't been treated with the respect that it deserves. Okay, it was wrong. It's acknowledged that it's wrong. I don't think we're going to catch the perpetrators. I don't think they should necessarily be, get stiff sentences and put in jail or shot at dawn. But hopefully they've learned a lesson, and hopefully we can move on from here. And that's certainly not brushing it under the carpet. No chance.
Yeah, I think you're right as well, mate, on some of the, on some of the stuff you talked about there, because, I can go all the way back to my school days, and obviously I've grown up side by side with Blues all the way through. And the Blue whose wedding I was the best man at, I've known him since those days. And, I can remember all the daft stuff we used to give each other stick for. So, when we didn't have a scoreboard, they were like, well, we've got a scoreboard. And, really, really daft stuff like that. But, the idea that there's absolutely no respect from Everton, for Everton from Reds is simply not true. I've genuinely got a big soft spot for Neville Southall. I loved him as a player. Thought he was a fantastic goalie. He's literally my favourite Everton player. And then, when I see what type of man he is now, in this day and age, you see him on Twitter and what he's doing around so many different causes, mental health, everything else. And I just think he's a great fella, him. And I'm not so bitter as a Red to be able to go, he's not a great fella or he wasn't a great goalkeeper. I'm absolutely fine on saying that. And again, I think, I wouldn't want it diluted. You won't be surprised to hear me say. And what I mean by that is I wouldn't want it diluted to the extent where it's too far the other way either. I like that a bit of atmosphere hangs in those games at Goodison.
Oh, yeah.
I like that we went there with the massive birthday cake and reminded them of how long it was since they'd last won a trophy. I like all that.
Yeah.
But like we said at the start of this, mate, it's just finding that line and staying the right side of it. Because, things like, I'm forever grateful for what Everton have done around the hills, but I know you are too, mate.
Yeah.
They've been absolutely brilliant on it from day one to now, from the top to the bottom. And again, I'll get some of my mates who say, but you hear them singing X or you see them doing Y. And I'm like, yeah, but how many of them is it though? How many of them is? And I'll defend them on that score. I'll say it's not all of them. It's not all of them. And equally, the same applies to us. There's a dickhead fringe to every football club, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think, and people may throw this accusation at me and you right now, but sometimes I think, we give the dickhead fringe too much, thought, really. But it's because, with this, it's because it's iconic. It's because it's Dixie Dean. It's because it's being shared everywhere. And as I said at the top, national and local media have picked up on it. Yeah,
and it's right. Like I said, I went back to before tonight. You should call out, no club's immune from having divvies. No club's immune from bad behaviour by a certain section of the supporters. What a lot of supporters do, ours included, will be they'll ignore that behaviour and they'll turn to rival fans about the behaviour of what they've done and whatever have you. And you've got to, if you're going to be honest in life and you're going to be a true reflection, Liverpool's, the fan base that Liverpool have got, the atmosphere that they can generate, the colour, the imagination of them, is world renowned, rightly so. But you can't just gloss over anything that's bad as well. That's not it. And so, I'm glad we're talking about this today in the extent that we have to. I wish it hadn't happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, given that it has, I'm glad that the Anfield Wrap are doing the right thing and calling it out 100%. And so it's not indulging people and having too much time for the Fringe, because Liverpool is a massive club. Liverpool's got so many supporters. And then, it's from the very place, Liverpool. If you translate it into any other language, it probably means defiance. Who tells the Scousers what to do? Who tells Liverpool what to do? Who tells Everton what to do? So I wouldn't dream of telling anyone what to do. I've only ever spoke for myself. But it's just like, it's the right thing to do to call this out. And hopefully, we've shown, we show everybody that, that we all agree. And then hopefully, because we've got so much in common, and because, with our Evertonian Blue brothers, then we can move forward with them, because we're like-minded in so many ways. I always go back to it, we support Liverpool in our family because my great-granddad chose, so that is it. If he'd have chose Everton, I don't know, might be on the Blu-ray.
Well, on the Anfield Wrap anyway, we are celebrating the fact that Liverpool have won the 19th league title that we've waited for all of these years. And what we've done, what we've been working on hard, some of the people that you never see really on videos, or the people behind the scenes, the people who edit the video, the people who edit the audio, have worked really hard on a couple of documentaries which are coming out this week. We've got How the League Was Won, which is a video, and we have got an audio documentary called The Journey Towards Number 19, which I believe is in 3 parts, but both of those will be coming out this week. And so to give you a taste there, here is a clip from How the League Was Won.
Under the April skies of 1990, Liverpool sealed an 18th league championship by beating QPR here at Anfield. No one then would have believed it would be 30 years until the next one.
There was a period at the weekend where I thought we played equally as good a football as I've seen us play probably since Coutinho was here.
Going away to Chelsea, it's one of the hardest places to go.
One of the hardest. As soon as the final whistle went, it was one of those where it's like, oh, thank God.
You look like champions when you play really well, and you look like champions when you sneak things at the end of games, and Liverpool did both today.
To have won 16 in a row and be 8 clear in September is absolutely stunning.
Nothing get in there. The Reds have prevailed against Manchester City. They came, they saw, they got beat, and they can fuck off.
This team is as good as any team I've ever seen us ever have. It really is that good.
That's the second best team in the Football League right now, and we just battered them.
A lad who comes through like the fucking Genk Academy hates Everton more than me. It's unbelievable.
What this football team's done across the whole season and last season as well is nothing short of phenomenal.
This is how the league was won, through the eyes of the Anfield Wrap.
Okay, so there you go. There's a little taster of how the league was won out on the Anfield Wrap this week. A good time to subscribe, get stuck in, watch things like that, soak everything up, realise how great it is to be a Red right now. And you can, of course, download the app for free, and you can have a go of some of our premium content for nothing. See if it's for you. And if it is for you, please subscribe. That's how it works. Okay, so the next thing then, Damian, is that we are playing Brighton tomorrow, 8:15, away from home. An interesting one, this, in that we've got a very good record against Brighton. Brighton have lost each of their last 8 meetings with Liverpool in all competitions, including all 5 games in the Premier League. But we talked about this on a show yesterday, and although we beat them at Anfield, obviously the keeper gets sent, which doesn't help. I actually thought at times they did all right against us in that game. It wasn't like we sort of blew them away. And they've done all right in general in terms of, what their aim obviously was to stay up. And they're on 36 points now. And you look at their recent form, they obviously beat Norwich, which was massive for them in their last game. Before that, they were defeated at home 3-0 by Manchester United, which is maybe the little marker for us where you say, well, if they can, we can. Before that, they drew with Leicester City away, which was a good result. They also beat Arsenal 2-1. And then this one, which I think was before the pandemic, they drew with Wolves. So their record is that they're 15th in the Premier League. They're on 36 points, as I mentioned. They've won 8, drawn 12, lost 13. But what I wanted to get you on first of all, Damian, is just the crowd aspect, because we talked on the free show yesterday about, for me at least, the Villa game was one of the first ones where I really missed it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was like, I think up to now, I've sort of been excited by the fact that we've just got some kind of football back, and I've been soaking all that up, and I've been enjoying us doing our content around matches again and things like that. But for that Villa game, I thought we should be there. You know, we should be in the Kop. We should be cheering on the champions, hailing our heroes, all that kind of stuff. And we didn't get to do that. And I wonder how much that fed into the performance a little bit as well. Equally, though, I think for this game for Brighton, you know, you think about Brighton, like they'd be so up for this, Liverpool coming to town. Like I say, they pretty much secured the safety. And, you know, the players would be pumped up, the fans would be pumped up, and yet all that's not there. And so I wonder, does that play into Liverpool's hands maybe, or I don't know. I mean, because one thing you can dig at here, and it's mad when we've been so good, mate, but, you know, Liverpool have won 29 of their 33 Premier League games this season. There's another little record on the horizon here, potentially. If we beat Brighton, we will have reached 30 wins in a season faster than any team in the history of English League football. So that's a nice little one. I love all these records that keep mounting up. But away from home recently, it's not great, and obviously we're going back to the other side of the pandemic here and stuff, but we failed to score in our last 5 away matches in all competitions, drawn 1, lost 4, without a goal in the last 7 hours, 42 minutes away from home, which is a bit of a mad anomaly about Liverpool's performances. You know, just a little, not an alarm bell's probably too far, but what do you think?
It's crept up on us, that, hasn't it, really? Yeah. So without people noticing, you know, this bad away run. I mean, yeah, it flies in the face of everything you know about Liverpool. And you've just gone about how many, you know, they can get the wins so fast, how fast they've won the league, you know, they've won all these trophies and whatever. And then that away record's there. I know it's skewed a little bit, isn't it, by cup ties, you know, strength team at Chelsea away, and then there's a Champions League game away to Atletico, and it's difficult to score there, and that's okay. It's tempered a little bit by that. Talking about the crowd, I agree fully about the Aston Villa one. Was really that was quite flat for us, you know, as a spec, because I think if we've had the novelty of the reintroduction of football, which I was so excited about, and then you just think, you know, Liverpool were a bit flat, and I understand mentally and physically they've climbed the mountain and they're absolutely shattered. And as a support base, I know a lot of my mates have felt the same way, you know, absolutely all in. Just imagine what the atmosphere would have been like at Anfield for the Aston Villa game, and the crowd would have got that team right over the line. And it works twofold, doesn't it? You know, Brighton would have been looking at that same, we've got a midweek game, it's under the lights, you know, we're in the Premier League to play these names, here's our chance, it's a free hit really, no one expects us to win, we're going to throw it, we'll turn it into a cup tie, we'll throw everything at them. And, you know, in Brighton, unfortunately, their support have been, you know, deprived of the opportunity to watch the world champions, the league champions come to town, the great name that's Liverpool. So it's as broad as long, because it's the same for all clubs. It's the same for all clubs. And I think Liverpool's performance against Villa was just a comment, like most things in life, it's not just one factor, is it? And then you've got, like, I think players who, you know, you look at the shift some of the players have done, like Andy Robertson, for example, you know, and, you know, with really no cover and how many games he's playing. You're surprised he's flat after we've got to this stage. And he was quite clearly enjoying himself in the afterglow of the championship, nearly as much as we were, and possibly as much as we were. So, yeah, it's just the records are there, and I think you should take this opportunity for a couple of reasons. It's the day job, like, so there's the first thing. But these seasons don't come along all the time. When you're in the moment and you're in a team that's just won something, or you're winning something, you're in the zone. There's no guarantee that'll be here next year. I tell you what, we've got every chance of winning the league next season, but it'll be a hell of a lot closer. And it won't be for records, points totals, and what these lads have got an opportunity to do, what this club has got an opportunity to do, is lay down. I mean, Premier League history. People talking about Man City a couple of seasons ago when they get the record points, of a team that would just win the league for the next decade and would be out of sight, as if they were a team literally from another planet. And Liverpool have very, very well stuck to the task, clung onto them, and then gone past them. And it would be very fitting for this group of players and this manager, in my opinion, that it achieves the points total. So the goals are there. And I can think back to previous seasons when, like 88, for example, they had the chance to get 2 points totals, and they just sort of done a few draws, and it petered out towards the end of the season, and it ended up in us losing a cup final. And I don't know if that was part of it. But I remember other seasons in 79 when they were absolutely going for the records and they got them. And I know which way I want Liverpool to do it. So I want them to rotate the players cleverly. I want them. You've got San, you've got the two front players there, Mo and Sadio. They're going to be having the golden boot in mind, aren't they?
Yeah.
You've got a couple of young players there who got new contracts and would like to feel very. How good would it be psychologically if Jürgen gets them over the line with the appearances to get a medal, and they really are part of something big? So there's a lot of encouraging things to play for. The glass is more than half full, and I'd like to think now Liverpool can reset themselves and we can win the remaining games. I think we can do it.
Absolutely, mate. Well, the bookies make Brighton 5-1. The draw is 3-1. Liverpool overwhelming favourites. I mean, sometimes we can talk ourselves out of these things. Liverpool are fantastic. Loads of quality all over the pitch. And, think about it from the other way around. What will Brighton be thinking about Liverpool coming to town? How will their manager stop all our talent? How will the players on the pitch stop all our talent from scoring? So we shall see how Liverpool react. There have been a couple of poorer performances. There was also the brilliant performance against Crystal Palace. So let's hope it's a Palace performance rather than a City performance, for instance. But Brighton very much are not City. So we shall see. Whatever happens, we shall be doing all our usual stuff. Podcasts, videos, writing on the site as well, theanfieldwrap.com. Also, just last of all, obviously loads of people at the moment want to display the fact that Liverpool are champions everywhere they can. So, I went on a bike ride yesterday. There are flags and banners and bunting all over the city, north to south. It was fantastic to see. But also, if you're looking for a nice T-shirt to show the world that you're a Red and to show the world that we've won the league, there's a big range on theanfieldwrap.com right now. So go and check all those out. Damian, pleasure as ever to have a chat to you, mate, this morning.
Right back at you.
Thanks for taking the time, mate. And that has been Talking Reds. Up the Reds.